Now, this filing, you need to understand something. It's always done in the capacity of the man or the woman and how you feel comfortable in filling out your paperwork. I could have written this up with a handful of sentences and put this in still. But the reason that we've gone a little bit longer, if you look at the format and how I've laid it out, when it starts with the statement of claim, which begins on page 7 through 9, that is no different than the form. The wording is different, again, which is paramount. It's no different than the form 14A that you get from the Ontario, at least, provincial and superior courthouse clerk windows today. That's a template, I guess you could say, for their statement of claims, that if you're going to file something on the legal side, this is the form that you use to get yourself started. I have simply grabbed that because I don't wish to convolute the situation. I want the staff at that public courthouse to recognize and see that, yes, this is very similar, the styling and ever, however, they're very much aware of the wording, which is paramount, is very different. Because it addresses the law on the land, not the law of the sea, which admiralty law and legal does. So when you're reading through this filing, you're going to see how I start off with notices. I first want to give enormous thanks and credit to Carl Lentz. Carl Lentz I met 3.5 years ago, and he has been instrumental in helping me in learning the simplicity of all of this over the years. And these were some of the original notices that I acquired from Carl back then. And my whole point is there's no point in reinventing the wheel when this man has written some very powerful, simple notices in order to help every man and woman address if there's a trespass on the case at that courthouse, which you're going to see now, which did occur the week of October the 28th, 2019. So it's important that when you're reading these filings that I've put in here, that you understand that you can create your filing however you choose to present that to your fellow man at the end of the day, but you must ensure that it has the key core components to it, that you have the people that have trespassed against you, you have the names of the people that are prosecuting them, if it's yourself or if it's going to be another man that's stepping in to help you out as well. You have a basic outline of what the trespass was. You can provide your evidence at that time to it, but these people that are the wrongdoers, as all of us know, that when someone does something wrong to us, they've got all the documentation that they've sent to us or what they've been doing to us. They know damn well what they've done. So you don't have to worry about, like you're going to do some sort of a surprise attack with them at the court. Just make sure that your paperwork is correct, it's true, everything that you're writing there is true, and understand the process that you're accessing the public courthouse, you're filing your claim, you're giving them 21 days to respond to it. If they don't respond in 21 days, you're going to move your court and claim to seek a judgment, okay, against them. But when we are dealing with public servants, when we are dealing with these service corporations, we require, okay, there's no option, you require a trial by jury. This has to be brought in front of the people. This is why our system, this is why our country, this is why our world is in the situation that it's in. Because people are not accessing the courthouse correctly, then we have these people behind the counter that believe with all their heart that they're acting honorably, who are not, because they're certainly sliding across forms to you, legal forms that don't apply to us. So, and then when you do file your paperwork into the courthouse, that man or woman in the black robe, when it gets in front of them, they're kicking it out of the court as you're seeing what's going on here. And they have no business doing that. Imagine if, for example, McDonald's was the service corporation that ran all the internal, operations of our court. You file a court and a claim you established. You waited your 21 days. Then when you're going to move your court and claim, all of a sudden that claim is no longer, your property is no longer in that courthouse. Some woman, in this case, Linda Templeton, removed, and a man, Scott Campbell, removed this man's property from a public courthouse. And they played around with it, and they created some documentation of their own making from their own society, and they put their opinions on what it should be, and then they've kicked it out of the courthouse. They've removed it from the system now. This is the corruption that you're seeing firsthand. Imagine if McDonald's, a service employee, did that working at a public courthouse. Remember, it's a public courthouse. All these people wearing black robes, they got no damn business doing anything to our paperwork. They have no jurisdiction or control over we the people. They are there to serve us. But these people are not there to be our friends. That's why they wear black, okay? When has black ever represented good in this world, okay? These people and what they represent is evil, okay? It's the largest corruption of mass human trafficking that's going on in this world. And that's why your paperwork must be solid. You never use any legal terms, any legal words. and you address honorably and correctly how you're accessing the court. So when you're reading that from pages 7 through 9, it's a very simple claim, okay? It's showing exactly who the parties are, the wrong and the harm that's occurred, and what you're seeking as far as remedy and an action of court moving forward, a trial by jury, okay? So don't use the notices in that. Just don't just copy and cut and paste things. You must understand the words that you're using, okay? I don't believe in templates, but I do believe in at least showing my fellow man that these are the communications that we put in. And the reason that those notices are there prior to you seeing pages 7 through 9, the statement of claim, is they were honorably placed into that courthouse so that every man and woman working there knows damn well when they're reading that documentation what they are allowed to do and not to do, and what we are requiring of them. And it was all ignored. Okay, so we've gone back, as you've worked yourself through this process now and already heard, we've gone back now, we've put to Linda Templeton and this man Scott Campbell, who trespassed and removed this man's property, his court claim in his case, from that public courthouse. And they have not responded. Today's date is November the 12th. I've kept this back as long as I could from recording this, and they have not responded to their trespass to counter the notices that they were sent to them on Friday, November the 9th, I believe it would have been. And it's very important that you understand this, is that this woman, Linda Templeton, who acquired this man's property, his claim in that, she received that a week before. Okay, we didn't know for a week that this was removed from here. It was removed the Friday before it appears. The 28th is when the letter appears received at the courthouse, and that document was removed on the Friday, the week before. So as we were doing our recording, as you've heard, all of a sudden we get a notice after that night on the 8th, the Thursday of November, that this woman has now sent out her ruling. And it's very important you see the response and how we've addressed that honorably with the notices. We never relinquished his property to fall under the rules of civil procedure. The word civil means Roman law. It's written right on the Service Corporation Canada Ontario's website. They go on to speak about the common law and how Canada came about creating the common law. It's a combination between common law and civil law. Well, civil law doesn't mean you and I being civil to each other. Civil law means Roman law. It came from Rome. It has nothing to do with this country. And this is what everyone needs to start understanding and waking up.